Hello friend, in today's lectures we are going to discuss about the different formulas which are useful to solve the numericals on bending stress in symmetrical and unsymmetrical sections. Let's see in the first figure A. In this figure it's a simply supported beam which is acting at the point load at its center, so that its reactions Ra is equal to W by 2 and Rb is equal to W by 2. So maximum bending moment occurs at the center, and so maximum bending moment at C is equal to WL by 4. You have to remember these formulas. In second figure, simply supported beam is spread by the UDL, uniform distributed load, so that its reactions at point A is equal to Ra is equal to WL by 2 and Rb is equal to WL by 2, because the total load acting on that span AB is equal to W is the UDL and it is spread throughout the length L. So W into L, that is the total load which is acting at the center. So that's why here WL by 2 and WL by 2. So maximum bending moment acts at the center, that is C, is equal to WL square by 8. Now in third figure C, it's a cantilever beam subjected to the point load at its free end and its length of the span is L. So maximum bending moment take place at the point A, that is W into L. Fourth figure, that is D. In this figure the cantilever beam is subjected to the uniform distributed load throughout its span. So in that case maximum bending moment is equal to WL square by 2 at its end A. Let's see the flexure formula or bending equations, in which M upon I is equal to sigma upon Y is equal to E upon R. So what is meant by M? M is equal to moment acting on the beam, which unit is Newton mm. I is equal to moment of inertia about the neutral axis, which unit is mm raised to 4. Whereas sigma is equal to bending stress induced in the section, or you may say in the beam material, and its unit is Newton per mm square or megapascal. Bending stress, it may be tensile or it may be compressive in nature. Y is equal to distance of extreme fiber from the neutral axis and its unit is mm. E is equal to modulus of elasticity of the material and it measured in Newton per mm square. In this case modulus of elasticity in tension or compression must be same. R is equal to radius of curvature in mm. Next point is section modulus. Section modulus, which is denoted by the Z. Section modulus defined as it is the ratio of modulus of section about the neutral axis to the distance of extreme fiber from the neutral axis, that is Z is equal to I upon Y, and Z is equal to, so moment of resistance or bending moment is equal to Z into sigma, and Z is measured in mm cube. Now let's see how to calculate the section modulus for the different sections. First we will consider here rectangular section, in which B is the width and D is depth, or you may say height of that sections. So in rectangular section moment of inertia is equal to 1 by 12 BD cube about the x axis, and about the y axis it becomes 1 by 12 dB cube. So section modulus Z is equal to I upon Y. I is equal to 1 by 12 BD cube divided by D by 2. So section modulus about the x axis we have to consider here 1 by 6 BD square. Always remember in this side. Next section is hollow rectangular section, in which capital B is the outer width and capital D is the depth of that outer sections, whereas small b is the width of that inner section or inner square or rectangle, and D is the depth, inner depth of that rectangular or circular or square section. Ix is equal to 112 capital BD cube minus small bd cube. And if we have to calculate here Iyy, 112 dB cube minus small dB cube. So section modulus for the hollow rectangular section is equal to, if we put here this value 1 by 12 BD cube minus BD cube divided by D by 2. D by 2 is the distance from the neutral axis to this outer fiber, that is y is equal to D by 2. So it becomes 1 by 6 BD cube minus BD cube divided by D, or you may say BD cube minus small BD cube divided by 6D. Next section is hollow circular section. In this circular section, D is the diameter of that section. So in that case, Ixx and Iyy both are the same, that is Ixx is equal to Iyy is equal to pi by 64 d raised to 4. That's why Ixx and Iyy are same. So Zxx and Zyy also same in the circular section as well as in hollow circular section also. So in that case, pi by 64 d raised to 4 divided by d by 2. That's why Zxx is equal to pi by 32 into d cube. Now next section is hollow circular section, in which Ixx and Iyy also same. Capital D is the outer diameter, small d is the inner diameter, and Ixx is equal to Iyy is equal to pi by 64 capital D raised to 4 minus small d raised to 4, and section modulus Zxx is equal to pi by 32 d raised to 4 minus d raised to 4 divided by capital D. Now next section is triangular section. In this triangular section, you have to remember here neutral axis is lies from the base h by 3 and from the apex it is 2/3 h. Remember here. So Ixx about the neutral axis, you 1 by 36 bh cube. That's why here Zxx is equal to Ixx upon y. If you have to calculate neutral axis from the base, so you may say here h by 3 and from the apex it is 2/3 h. So you have to put this value y is equal to 2/3 h or h by 3, depends on the conditions. Next, square section put in the inclined manner. In that case, A is the side of that square. So in y we have shown here A upon root 2 neutral axis, that is the if we consider here it becomes a 2 base, 2 triangles, this one triangle, this another triangles, and this base neutral axis is common base for this both the triangles. That's why here Ixx is equal to 2 into 1 by 12 bh cube. Here this is the moment of inertia about the base we have taken here, but in that case when we consider this whole section, then it becomes its neutral axis. That's why we have taken here 2 for this one triangle and another is second triangle, 1 by 12 bh cube. So put this value here, and again you will get here section modulus Zxx is equal to a cube upon 6 under root 2. Let's see how to calculate the moment of inertia for symmetrical eye section and unsymmetrical eye section. This moment of inertia is calculated on the basis of principle of parallel axis theorem. Let's see how to calculate it. In first figure, it is a symmetrical eye sections. It is symmetrical means it is symmetrical to x axis as well as its symmetry is about the y axis also. When symmetry is there, and in that conditions we can calculate the moment of inertia directly, that is Ixx is equal to, in that case we may say, if I initially we consider the whole rectangles, if I complete this rectangle in this side, then I am getting this rectangle A, B, C, D. So moment of inertia of that whole sections minus the moment of inertia of that shaded sections. So in that case we may say applicable to the hollow rectangular sections. If I say here the moment of inertia for that whole rectangles A, B, C, D, then we may write here 1 by 12 capital BD cube. Capital BD cube, B is the width and D is its depth. So 112 BD cube and minus this shaded rectangles. So in that case we may say minus small b d cube. So small b means here small b we may say LK plus JI, side LK plus JI. In that case you may say this side, or you may side here you may write in that manner also, capital B minus small t. In this way you may calculate the Ixx. Moment of inertia about the YY axis, that is we may say Iyy is equal to, according to that hollow rectangles, 1 by 12 dB cube minus small dB cube. It is the easiest way to calculate the moment of inertia when the figure is symmetrical to axis, XX axis as well as YY axis. Now let's see how to calculate the moment of inertia for that unsymmetrical sections. In that sections, here three rectangles are there, and we may say this first rectangle, this second, and this third. In that side it is symmetrical to only YY axis, but it is unsymmetry with the Ixx. So when it is unsymmetry with the Ixx, how to calculate it? Let's see this moment of inertia for the unsymmetrical section. So first we will see this one section, second section, third section. So we will calculate this area of A1. A1 is equal to, you may say, B1 into D1. A2 is equal to B2 into D2. It is the area of that rectangle. A3 is equal to B3 into D3. It is a simple calculations to calculate the area of rectangles. But now here we have to use its parallel axis theorem. So just I am repeating parallel axis theorem in shortly. In that case, if we have to calculate the area of this side, if I say this GG is the area, GG is the centroidal axis for that, and AB is the area. So if I have to calculate the moment of inertia about these sections, and this dimension is, we may say, that is H, then IgG1 moment of inertia about the axis IAB is equal to, you may say here, IgG means moment of inertia about this centroidal axis plus area of that figure, that is A, into the distance between these two centroidal axes, that is H square. This formula we have to use here to calculate the moment of inertia about the XX axis. So according to this, just I am putting this first centroidal axis which is passing through the point 1, this second passing through this second side. So I see here 1 1 centroidal axis, this centroidal axis is 2 2, and this third centroidal axis is 3 3. So before that we have to calculate the y bar or centroidal axis of the whole figure. So for that whole figure, centroidal axis, we may say, if it passes through that points, just I am assuming it is my centroidal axis which is passing through, and its distance should be from that side, that is a y bar. Mean in shortly, first we have to calculate its y bar, and to calculate the distance y bar is equal to, what is the relations here, a1 y1 plus a2 y2 plus a3 y3 divided by summation of all the areas, that is a1 plus a2 plus a3. So in that case y1 is, if I say here the base of this capital A, this AB, so y1, this dimension is a y1. So y1 is equal to, this total dimension is, here we are assuming that that is d1. So y1 is equal to, you may calculate here, y1 is equal to d1 by 2. In that case, this dimension, if centroidal distance from the base, that dimension is y2. So while calculating this y2, remember here you have to consider only figure 2. Figure 2 having the depth d2. So you have to write here d2 by 2, but now we take distance from the AB. Y2 is distance from AB to centroidal axis 2, 2. So that's why plus this dimensions D1. Remember here. Similarly, Y3. If I say this dimension is Y3, centroidal axis of 3, 3 from that side here. So Y3 is equal to, first we have to consider only 3 figures. Figure number 3. And this dimension, half of this means Y3 is equal to, depth of this third figure is D3. So D3 by 2 plus, but we are going to calculate from the AB. Y3 distance is between the distance AB and centroidal axis 3, 3. So that becomes D2 plus D1. So in that case D2 plus D1, that becomes distance Y3. So in this way, first we have to calculate Y1, Y2 and Y3. Okay. Now after that, IgG1 you have to calculate. IgG1 means moment of inertia about the axis 1, 1. Moment of inertia about the axis 2, 2. Ig3 means moment of inertia about the axis 3, 3. Okay. Now this, with the help of this formula, a1y1 plus a2y2 plus a3y3 divided by summation of all the areas a1 plus a2 plus a3, we can calculate this distance y bar. We are marking here, just we have marked this distance, and that is, we may say, that is our centroidal axis or neutral axis for that unsymmetrical sections. Okay. So IgG1, moment of inertia about the centroidal axis 1, 1 is equal to, we can write here, Igg means moment of inertia about this axis 1, 1 plus a1 h1 square. a1 h1 square. a1 means the area of this first rectangle, and h1 is the distance between two centroidal axes, means distance between the centroidal axis 1, which is passing from the 1, 1, and from the neutral axis, or you may say from the centroidal axis of the whole figure. So that distance, we may say, that distance is h1. So this is h1. So how to calculate that h1? h1 is equal to, you may write y bar minus y1. Y bar minus y1. So you will get the value of that h1. Similarly, Igg2, or you may say here Ixx1, Ixx2 also you may write here. So Igg plus a2 h2 square. So in that case, Igg, how to calculate it? First Igg means here you may write 1 by 12 BD cube. 1 by 12 BD cube means B1 D1 cube for that side. Okay. H2 now, H2 means distance between these two sides. So that is called as the H2. Distance between centroidal axis of whole figure and the centroidal axis of the figure number 2. So in that case, you may say y2 minus y bar, and Igg is equal to 1 by 12 B2 D2 cube. So in that way you may write here. Next is Igg3. Igg plus a3 h3 square. Now here h3, again h3 means distance between this centroidal axis or axis passing from the centroidal, or you may say neutral axis, and axis passing through the figure number 3. So these dimensions you may say h3. So h3 is equal to, you may write y3 minus y bar, and Igg is equal to 112 here B3 into D3 cube. So here then total Igg or total Ixx is equal to Igg1 plus Igg2 plus Igg3. Instead of that, you may write here notations Ixx1 also you may take Ixx1, Ixx2, Ixx3. Notation is depend on you. So Ixx is equal to, or you may say Ixx1 plus Ixx2 plus Ixx3 unit mm raised to 4. That is one thing. Second important thing here, now you have to calculate after that moment of inertia about the y sections. Now if we observe this figure here, this figure is symmetrical to y axis. When figure is symmetrical to y axis, we can calculate Iyy directly. So how it is? 1 by 12 d1 b1 cube d1 b1 cube plus 1 by 12 d2 b2 cube, this d2 and this width b2 cube plus 1 by 12 d3 b3 cube unit mm raised to 4. In this way we can calculate the moment of inertia for symmetrical and unsymmetrical section.